Hello and welcome to another of the Ask the Data Governance Coach video series. And today's question is an interesting one I got sent in via LinkedIn from someone who wants to know whether it's possible to run a business intelligence program in parallel with data governance for the first time. I think this is an excellent question because I've come across it a number of times with clients over the years. And obviously the sensible thing is to think that absolutely we should do data governance first, because if we understand what data we have, where it is, we have good definitions, we possibly have some data quality reporting on the most critical of that data, then we're in a wonderful position to then start some kind of BI strategy and start producing loads of analytics and reports that would be useful to people across your organization. Now, of course, that would be wonderful. And I think perhaps in the early days of doing data governance, when I was first doing it, I thought that was absolutely essential. But to be honest, I think that's a bit like viewing the world through rose-tinted spectacles. We want everything to be perfect before anybody else does with the data. And unfortunately, life isn't like that. And I think you'll find that if you start trying to persuade people that that is what they would do, you're seen as obstructive and standing in the way of the BI strategy and the BI program. So whilst it isn't ideal, I would say that from experience and learning to be increasingly pragmatic and practical over the years, that I think it is possible to run them in parallel. What you need to do is almost make sure that the data governance is running as like perhaps the first steps you do in perhaps each phase that you do of it, making sure that before data is brought into a centralized data warehouse, data lake, however you're going to do it, to do that analysis, that there's some minimum data governance in place for it. Whilst, I think it would be wonderful to have data governance in place before we started any advanced analytics. I think practically, it's just not going to happen. So what we've got to do is find a way to sensibly get them to work in parallel. I hope you found that useful. And don't forget, if you did, please help me on my mission to help as many people as possible be successful with data governance by liking and sharing this on your choice of social media. And don't forget, if you have a question for me, please email me at questions@nicolaascombe.com.